John Webster, The White Devil, The Duchess of Malfi. Characters and Summary. Hello and welcome to the discourse. John Webster was a Jacobean dramatist who is known for his two tragedies, The White Devil, performed in 1612, and The Duchess of Malfi, performed in 1613. Both these tragedies were based on true historic events. Both these plays tell the true tragic stories of two widows with some dramatization. The White Devil, it is based on the true life events of Vittoria Eccorambini, an Italian woman who was murdered in 1585 at the age of 28. The title of this play is significant as it suggests the difference between the reality of people and the way they depict themselves as good, pure, or white. John Webster used this Italian story to comment on the current political corruption in England of that period. Characters of the White Devil. Monticelso is a cardinal who later becomes the Pope. He is the brother of Isabella. Francisco de Medici is the Duke of Florence, who disguises as a Moor named Mulinasar. He is the younger brother of Monticelso and Isabella. Bresciano is the husband of Isabella, Duke of Bresciano, and lover of Vittoria. Giovanni is the son of Bresciano with Isabella. Lodovico is an Italian count who is in love with Isabella. Antonelli and Gasparo are Lodovico's friends and co-conspirators. Camillo is the nephew of Monticelso, the husband of Vittoria. Vittoria Corombona is a Venetian lady, first married to Camillo, then to Bresciano. Vittorio is the sister of Flamiano, who is a secretary of Bresciano. Janche is a Moorish maid of Vittoria. Summary of the White Devil. Count Lodovico is banished from Rome for debauchery, murder, and corruption. His friends Gasparo and Antonelli are trying to get the order repealed. Vittoria Corombona is a noble but poor lady, married to Camillo, who holds no power. Yet he is the nephew of Monticelso, an influential cardinal who may soon become the Pope. Despite the poverty of her husband, Vittoria continues to lead an extravagant life, forcing her husband into debt. Her brother Flaminio is secretary to Bresciano, the Duke of Bresciano. When Bresciano sees Vittoria, he immediately falls in love with her, although both of them are married to other people. Flaminio senses Bresciano's attraction towards his sister, and to further his own career, he instigates Bresciano to pursue Vittoria. Flaminio's plan fails as Bresciano's wife Isabella returns to Rome with her brother Monticelso. When Isabella comes to hear the rumors about Bresciano and Vittoria, she gets very upset. Monticelso decides to bring the extramarital affair to public notice. Before that may happen, Flaminio and Bresciano arrange for the murder of Camillo and Isabella. Monticelso blames Vittoria for the murder of her husband and, as the cardinal, sentences her imprisonment in a convent of pertinent whores. Flaminio avoids jail by pretending to be mad. Cardinal Monticelso pardons banished Count Lodovico, who confesses that he was in love with Isabella and vows to take revenge for her murder. Isabella's younger brother Francisco also vows to take revenge. Lodovico writes a love letter to Vittoria and allows it to reach Bresciano to create a rift between them. However, Vittoria succeeds in gaining the trust of Bresciano by claiming that she is completely loyal to him, and they decide to elope to Padua and get married. Monticelso becomes the new pope and he orders the excommunication of Bresciano and Vittoria from Rome. Bresciano now holds the court of Padua. Francisco disguises himself as a Moor named Mulinasar, while Lodovico and his friend Gasparo disguise themselves as Capuchin monks. All three join Padua's court in service of Bresciano in their disguises. The three plot against Bresciano to take their revenge. Mulinasar poisons Bresciano, and when he is dying, Lodovico and Gasparo reveal their true identities to him and claim that they are exacting his wrongs. Meanwhile, Janche, a Moorish maid of Vittoria, falls in love with Mulinasar, considering him to be a Moor. She reveals to him how Flaminio was responsible for the murder of Isabella and Camillo. Giovanni, Bresciano's son from Isabella, becomes the new duke, and he orders the banishment of Flaminio for the murder of his brother Marcello. Flaminio realizes that his crimes will catch him. He visits Vittoria and tries to convince Vittoria and Janche to triple suicide by shooting each other. Janche and Vittoria shoot him and he feigns death. Vittoria and Janche exult over his death as they are now free of his conspiracies. However, Flaminio stands up again and informs them that the pistols were not loaded. Molinasar, Lodovico, and Gasparo enter the chamber of Vittoria and find Flaminio and Vittoria together. They murder both of them to complete their revenge. Giovanni reaches Padua and learns about his uncle Francisco's part in the bloody coup. He sends Lodovico off to torture. The play ends with Lodovico and Gasparo's imprisonment. The Duchess of Malfi. This play by John Webster was based on the life and murder of Giovanna di Aragona, who was the Duchess of Amalfi. The Duchess of Malfi is often considered among the greatest tragedies of the English Renaissance period. Characters of the Duchess of Malfi. The Duchess is the sister of Cardinal of Malfi. Her younger brother is Ferdinand, the Duke of Calabria. Daniel di Bosola is a former servant of the Cardinal who suffers a jail term for murder. Ferdinand employs and sends him to the Duchess to spy on her. The Cardinal is a corrupt cardinal of the Roman Catholic Church who keeps a mistress named Julia. Julia is the wife of an old lord, Castruccio. Cariola is a loyal maid of the Duchess. Antonio Bologna is the steward of the Duchess. He recently returned from France and doesn't like the corrupt environment of Italy. The Duchess falls in love with Antonio and offers marriage in secret. Antonio agrees to marry her, though he shares neither her name nor her money or power. Summary of the Duchess of Malfi. The Duchess of Malfi is a widow whose husband recently died. She appoints Antonio Bologna as her steward to protect her. Antonio recently returned from France and he is full of scorn and criticism against the Italian corrupt system. The Duchess gets impressed by his knowledgeable talks and falls in love with him. Her brother Ferdinand and the Cardinal are totally against their marriage as Antonio is a lowly steward much below their social status. Ferdinand is suspicious of her favors to Antonio, so he employs Daniel di Bosola, a known criminal and former servant of the Cardinal, to spy on the Duchess. Ferdinand is a lunatic and he has a strong feeling of hatred towards the Duchess for no good reason. The Duchess proposes to Antonio for a secret marriage and they elope and get married in secret. Cariola witnesses their marriage. Antonio continues to live as the Duchess's steward while she gives birth to 3 of his children. Cariola nurses the Duchess during her pregnancies in secret. The Duchess gets pregnant for the 4th time and this time she fails to hide it from the eyes of Bosola. Bosola knows that the Duchess is pregnant but he doesn't know who is the father. When Ferdinand comes to know about her pregnancy, he threatens and disowns her. To save himself and Antonio, the Duchess plans to run away with him. She asks for help from Bosola as she doesn't know that he is spying on her. She handles her money to Antonio and tells him to go to a hiding place in Ancona. Here, the Duchess announces that Antonio swindled her money and ran away. She then gives her jewelry to Bosola and tells him to handle them for Antonio. Her plan is to pretend to go on a pilgrimage to a nearby town of Ancona so that she may join Antonio and lead a free life away from her brothers. Bosola informs her plan to the Cardinal, who banishes the Duchess and Antonio and sends soldiers to Ancona to capture them. The Duchess and her 2 younger kids are captured, while Antonio manages to escape with the eldest son. The Duchess, her maid Coriola, and her 2 kids are brought back to Malfi, where the Cardinal instructs the men of Bosola to execute them. As Bosola sees them being executed, he feels a sudden repulsion and guilt. He decides to atone for his crimes by taking revenge for the murder of the Duchess of Malfi and her young kids. The Cardinal also suffers a heavy hurt and confesses his part in the murder of his own sister and her 2 kids before Julia, his mistress. Later on, to avoid any witness, he murders Julia too with a poisoned Bible. Now the only witness for his crimes is Bosola and he plans to murder him too. Bosola overhears the Cardinal's plot to kill him. He decides to go to chapel and confront the Cardinal and kill him. Meanwhile, Antonio is unaware of the fate of the Duchess and his two younger kids. He returns to Malfi and tries to meet the Cardinal at chapel to ask forgiveness and reconcile with the Cardinal. However, before Antonio could meet the Cardinal, Bosola mistakes him to be the Cardinal in the dark. He stabs Antonio to death while attempting to murder the Cardinal. Bosola realizes his mistake and goes to look for the Cardinal. Bosola finds him and murders him. Ferdinand comes to know about his brother's murder and he confronts Bosola. In the ensuing fight, Bosola and Ferdinand stab each other to death. In the end, the Duchess's eldest son returns to Malfi and becomes the new Duke. Both these tragedies by John Webster tell similar stories. In The Duchess of Malfi, the Cardinal and Ferdinand, brothers of the widow, appear to be the white devils, such characters that need to be good but turns out to be villainous. Bosola, on the other hand, who is a criminal by nature, turns out to be a better man than the Cardinal and Ferdinand. In both these dramas, the brothers of the two widows appear to be the main villains. This is it for today. We will briefly discuss some of the dramas of the last Jacobean dramatist, James Shirley, before moving towards the metaphysical poets. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.